Welcome, ladies and gentlemen and ladies. Sean here with BlueRidgeSilverhound, and we have an early edition of the Monday Market Report. I'll be uploading this Sunday night, April 3rd. Yeah, April 3rd. This is for the week ending April 3rd, of course. We're going to be taking a look at some of the most awesome, most relevant post-1900 modern graded coins to sell this week. This time, we are going to be looking at greatcollections.com. Just an ungodly list this week. Some pretty amazing modern varieties, one in which has firmly eclipsed the five-figure mark at its highest grade level. You're going to want to pay attention to this. In addition, almost nearly half of the list comprises of high dollar value coins. Now, what do I mean high dollar value? 5 figures and up. You're going to see as we go through this list, there's a lot of coins that are being bought. So someone had mentioned, I would say about 2 weeks ago, that, yeah, this is not sustainable at all. People are most certainly going to stop paying these high prices for these coins. Well, 2 weeks later, we just haven't seen it. And furthermore, if I could do a Monday Market Report eBay edition, I would probably do that too. You're going to find that there are a lot of four-figure, dollar-figure type coins that have sold even on that sales site. It's just, it continues to just boggle my mind. I mean, my mind has been mush lately with all of the big, huge sales that I've documented, have seen, have just ran data on. It's just amazing. And, you know, it firmly kind of, I'm under the belief that a lot of the big money is going into coins, currency, and precious metals today. There's just really no other way to describe it. I mean, these examples that have been selling week in, week out have been nothing short of spectacular. But we yet again, we have another list heading into April. Okay, I think the date that I'm most interested in is going to be Memorial Day weekend. Okay, and the big reason why is that is kind of like the gateway date between what generally separates a very busy coin collecting, coin investing season to the summertime. And it used to be, I mean, it really used to be, as recently as about 4 years ago, dealers and the deep pocket collectors and investors, they usually take time off during the summer. Now, we lived during the pandemic. A lot of people had more indispensable income. We began to see just an intense ramp up in sales over the course of the last 24 to 36 months. So anything has been, it's been not the most typical just prevailing seasonal change when it comes to the marketplace. It just hasn't. And you're going to see here and now that it's continuing to forge forward, whether we like it or not. When there's money to be spent and there are rarities to be had, you better believe that there's going to be some pretty nice focus on these examples. So great collections. Had just an unbelievable list. This Monday Market Report could have been 40 to 50 coins strong this week. I toned it down to just 19. Yeah, just 19, right? But these are all some of the most spectacular coins that have sold here in the last 7 days. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first coin here with our feature subject coin, 1983 Lincoln Memorial Cent. This, of course, if you've never seen this before, is the aforementioned doubled die reverse. This thing is a monster coin, even in some circulated grades. These used to be a pretty easy, cheap pickup for around $100 to $150, but even those examples are selling for $200 to $300. So even the low end examples coming right out of pocket change. The market has been going up and up and up on these. Now, when it comes to just the foundational trophy of this particular variety, we have to talk about the top pop grade, and that's Mid-State 68. Now, there's not just one example. There are a number of these graded at the highest level. Something to keep in mind. This one right here, of course, is a PCGS graded 68 red. I mean, this is the coin that dreams are made of, and oftentimes these coins generally were cherry picked out of rolls, like old, brilliant, uncirculated rolls back in the day. It's very unlikely that you'll find a coin that'll grade at 68 in pocket change today. Finding one in just mid-state condition is going to be a tough battle in itself. But where are we looking at for this one? We do know it's sold for over 10,000, but to the dollar, it sold for 10,000 at $968.75. We've seen 2 or 3 examples in a 68 eclipse 10K. Here's yet another one that has knocked on that door and has just, well, they let themselves in to the 10K club. So we got this one here. Even more mysterious and quite surprising is this bicentennial coin right here, 1976S, proof Lincoln Memorial Cent. Now, I'm sure a lot of folks will look at this and say, yeah, sure, it's a proof 70, it's full red, it's deep cameo. It's exactly what you would expect from a coin that is a little bit newer, all right? So, but let's not get carried away here. This is actually a much more special coin than it looks at first glance. 70 red, quite a tough grade to obtain of this coin, and it is deep cameo. And more than likely, a registry set will want this. A full bore, complete registry set has not only business strike coins, but proof examples as well. This one is going to be very well needed. To the tune of $13,612.50. Now, where did that number come out of? It came out of left field. Yeah, sure. I mean, it's sold for a lot more than the previous coin, which I think at its grade level is well deserved. But this one right here, on a much more modern proof coin, at a mid-state 70, or a proof 70 rather, $13,612 doesn't seem like the kind of price tag that you would assign to this. But there was quite a few bids, all right? And this one commanded the market, and I believe it was either 77 or 78, where more proof 70s were kind of the thing, all right? I think the quality just wasn't there in 76. With a lot of attention being paid to the bicentennial quarters, half dollars, and Ike dollars that the Lincoln cents, I think, didn't quite measure up in the quality department for the proof strikes. So there you go, 13K. Who would have thought? Now this is one right here that I love to cherry pick, but they're getting increasingly more scarce with the amount of attention that's being paid to the earlier proof sets. These used to be a very affordable cherry pick. You could have picked up a 1960 proof set on any given day for around 25 to 30 bucks. This one right here is a coin that a lot of people were cherry picking, and they are a lot tougher to locate than they were even just 3-4 years ago. I had probably 4 or 5 of these proof sets with this particular variety in there. So this is the 1960 small over large date variant. It's a PCGS proof 64 red cameo. The cameo designation is what makes this one a little bit special, including obviously the small over large date variety. This one right here even exhibits a little bit of toning on there, but overall it's just a really great example of this coin, and glad to see one in cameo. This one sold for $1,436.62. Again, guys, I don't have the ability to locate some raw, unsearched 1960 proof sets, because everybody is looking for this coin. So definitely something to just, keep on the back of your mind if you do come across these at a coin shop and you are under the belief that they've never been cherry picked by the dealers. All right, so this one undoubtedly is going to be a registry set coin, so don't invest in anything like this. This is just a top-end, top-hop Lincoln wheat cent. It's a mid-state 67 red 1950D. These were all produced in very high quality. So this was a coin that I'm sure it required very little cherry picking, very little hunting. It's an overall clean coin. Again, for a registry set only. It's also CAC certified for this one, and it's sold for $1,490.62. All right, here's another really good variety. Now, I don't have close-ups of all the varieties. I'm going to say this to you guys to help you out. If you need assistance in finding out what this particular variety looks like, or any of them, any varieties that are seen on this week's list, go ahead and check out websites like coppercoins.com. It's a great website with really nice close-ups. There's also doubledie.com and Variety Vista. Those are my three top favorites of all-purpose kind of varieties that I would certainly bookmark, either on your phone or your PC. So make sure you do that. You're going to be able to take a look exactly at what a 1946 S over D over mint mark looks like on those particular sites. Yeah, you heard me correctly. This is an S over D. I think it's a little bit more scarce than the 44 D over S over mint mark. This one has eluded me my entire life. Yeah, sure, I could have gone out and, paid to own one, but what's the fun in that? This is a coin that you definitely want to cherry pick out of just bulk wheat cent lots or a BU roll. Good luck finding one of those, by the way. But this one right here is just a premier example as a mid-state 65 plus full red. It is FS 511 in the Cherry Picker's Guide, and it's also CAC certified. So we have another coin here that's sold for $1,436.62, which ironically is the same amount of money that the 1960 small over large date variety sold for. So there you go. That's your S over D mint mark Lincoln. Just a beautiful coin and one to keep an eye out for if you're an avid hunter of these coins. And here's that semi-key, sub-million mintage 1931S. I mean, I love talking about examples that are nice, really good grades. This is a mint state 66 red. As you guys know, a lot of these were pulled out of circulation. A lot of people, a lot of collectors knew that this was going to be a scarce date. So no one really challenged that at all, okay? They just went, and every time they found one, they held on to them, and that's why the market is flooded with a lot of these fringe, about uncirculated, and up grades. Now, a 66 is special. It's just a really top-tier investment coin. It could also be a collector-type piece coin. And, in certain instances, this will also fit in a registry set, but to a lesser extent. This one sold for $2,306.25. And the final penny of the list is going to be this 1903 Indian Head Cent. Now, full red examples of any date of Indian Head Cent from the earliest of days all the way up to 1909 are extremely coveted. The target grade is oftentimes going to be mid-state 64 and up, full red. Obviously, the 64s will have more issues that collectors aren't really looking to dump a ton of money into. However, how about a 66 plus full red that you see here? This is a coin that had a lot of eyeballs on it here in the last week, and it's also CAC certified, so it's got the backing of a great third-party authenticator. In addition to the grading company, and it's just a beautiful coin with a lot of appeal. I love the kind of like wood grainy reverse on it. I think that's very attractive. And to the new owner, they ended up paying $3,044.25. I think all day long, that's a really good amount of money for a coin like this. It's not like a screaming, like overachieving amount of money. But at the same time, with its final hammer price, it doesn't scream bargain. It doesn't. This is just a really good piece all around. Okay, so I can honestly say this is the first annex graded coin for 2022, and I talk about maybe a half a dozen of these throughout all the MMRs in the course of a year. Okay, but this one, not my favorite, but it's on the list because it did sell for a, kind of decent amount of money. Now it's a 53S, all right, one of the kind of perennial dates of ugliness. You can see why. The strike is very mushy. The luster is kind of spotty to the point where it would almost appear to be a circulated coin. And yeah, this one actually says 5 steps. I don't know. That's tough. There is a rather obtrusive looking nick on the steps on the reverse that cuts through at least half of the steps. Normally something like that where you have an interruption in the steps that go left to right, end to end, would disqualify a coin like this from steps. I would say that Annex isn't really known for their strike designations, so that's kind of like maybe the beat on this one. However, I will say this is a much older graded Annex coin. I believe probably from the 90s. It's in an old white soap bar slab. So I don't know what the grading standards were. I know at one point Annex kind of fell off the wagon in terms of its credibility in the grading space. And I don't know if that was like late 90s, early 2000s, where people really didn't take them too seriously. But I do know today they are much more strict on the grading scale. But keep in mind, this coin right here sold for $2,655. I know it's a very scarce date for full steps. I just think this one might be a little bit of a stretch. But it's very rare that we see Annex coins with full, with strike designations labeled on there. So I don't know what the appeal is. I don't know if it's because Annex, slab is old and it's got the strike designation. I feel like a broken record at this point. We're just going to move on. I don't like this coin. All right, so here's a few coins I do like. A number of Buffaloes. I'm all about the Buffalo nickels. Now, here's a coin I have in my collection. Now, it's not this specific one. This is a 1936 Buffalo nickel doubled die obverse. Okay, check out the date. It's got the big old knobby bottoms of the numerals, and then Liberty is doubled as well. This is just like one of my favorite coins. To find the piece that I do own is actually a PCGS XF40. So that coin I ended up paying for about $150 for. But this one right here obviously is nowhere near close to what that one is value-wise. This is a mid-state 66, whether you like it or not. I think the carbon spot on the obverse is my least favorite thing about the coin, but overall, this is just a really good example here. This one sold for $3,632.62. Again, it's not my XF40, that's for sure. This is just in a league all its own. All right, so we have some unbelievable scarce dates. Okay, they were all mid-1920s Buffaloes, except for the last couple. Here's a 27S. This is where it gets really tough. These middle 20s dates of Buffaloes generally have bad strikes and not spectacular luster. This one right here is a 64 plus. All right, so this is a very nice high-end type piece. If I ever saw one, it's also CAC certified. And this one ended up selling for $5,906.25. Here's another one here, this time a 25S. This one is a stunner. But then again, you do see the byproduct of the strike of its day. You notice that right there on the, I was going to say Buffalo, the Indian's nose right there. A lot of weakness, a lot of flatness. That just indicates just a really, really mushy strike. But just a really beautiful coin, lots of luster. Mid-state 65, ultimately, if you were serious about collecting the series at the highest level, this is a grade that you would want all day long. You don't want anything lower than this. They will break your hearts. But you are going to have to, open up that checkbook, if that's still a thing these days, and opt for this. This one sold for $10,800. This is the first 5-figure coin all day long on the list that is commensurate with the coin. $10,000, baby. Here's another one here. Boy, this one has pretty nice luster and toning. 1919p. This is a Philadelphia minted buffalo nickel. Very, very attractive strike on this one. Very, very nice with lots of detail. Good looking coin. Mint state 67 plus. So that's the bell ringer right there in the graded market. This one ended up selling for $15,340.50. More amazing coins. And here we are, another one. Obviously, this is a 5-figure coin, 1917S. Our first NGC graded example at a mint state 67 does not disappoint. It really doesn't. This is a beauty. And there is a dedicated base of collectors and investors of high-end Buffalo nickels. So the prices will not drop over time. They will continue to go up as long as the supply remains scarce, and they will. This one right here, I'm happy to say, well, this is like a brand new car, all right? $24,187.50. Sadly enough, it's a brand new lower end car, with all the markups that are out there. But hey, would you rather have a really fancy Honda Civic, or would you rather have a Buffalo nickel? Well, to most of us that already have decent running cars, I would say the nickel is going to be one that will enhance in value. This one, no doubt about it, I would take all day long. This is the most pedestrian coin on the list. I mean, 1966 Roosevelt dime. It is a business strike, all right? So it's not an SMS or anything like that. It's just a really high grade. 68 full torch, full split bands, however you want to classify it. QA certified, which is the modern equivalent to CAC. And don't ever try and look for these too great, all right? You're going to be disappointed. You're going to end up pissing away a lot of money, grading things like this, especially if you're hunting out full bands or full torch. They're quite difficult during the 60s. This one right here ended up selling for $2,306.25. Someone had already done all the heavy lifting. Do not do this. This is not an investable coin. It was made strictly for a registry set. However, more investment quality material, 43p. Mercury dime is a very common date, minted into the tens of millions. So when it takes something extraordinary for a coin like this to even show up on the list. Now, this is a mid-state 68 plus full bands. I'm not even sure this is 69 because this date is pretty well struck all across the board. So finding one with a decent strike is not hard at all. It's just finding one that's incredibly clean, free of and devoid of any marks or nicks on the coin. This one right here sold for $11,938.50. Again, I think that this coin 5 years ago probably would have sold for half that amount of money, but the populations are very, very slim on a coin of this grade level. Something to keep in mind. It is amazing. All right, so we went from blast white to something with artistic visualization. 1941S is a colorful nugget. All right, this is the poster child of a famous watercolor painting. This looks like something that was painted by Bob Ross, and this has, Crayola has nothing on this coin. This is just a monster. PCGS mid-state 68 plus. Full split bands. I'm sure there's probably a point and a half grade bump just on color alone. This thing is amazing. And you don't see coins like this, especially double-sided, come out in the marketplace that often. This is probably once a year, once every 2 years inclusion in a big-time market or big-time auction house. Great collections. Fortunately, was the beneficiary of such a consignment. This one right here sold for $16K, $16,651, 12 cents. Yeah, this is ridiculous. The whole list this week is ridiculous with these coins. And yeah, we are still rife with really nice toned examples. Now, this is not a 10K coin, but there have been a few examples that have hit that level in the past. 64D. Who would have thought that this would be a rarity? In mid-state 67 and up, they sure are. But there are coins that you could find that were archived in albums or saved to some extent in an environment rich of moisture and all sorts of chemical reactions. Then you get beautiful toning like this. This is like grandma's jewelry box kind of toning right here. It's a mid-state 67, which is what you want, for this type of coin. CAC certified, also very important, and it sold for $1,306.12. This is not like the premier grade level of this coin either. This is just a great looking coin with some color. And here's a really another very scarce variety, especially in this grade. The two examples of an S/D 1950 Washington that I do own are beaters compared to this one. None of them, I would say, are above AU. They're like XF condition coins that I've cherry picked out of silver, years ago. So this one right here is a special coin. You've heard me say that word a bunch of times today. This one is a 67. All right. That's no slouch of a grade. It's got a little bit of toning, albeit it looks like there's an old fingerprint on the obverse there at one point. And this one came close to $10,000. I almost shed a tear when I found out that it missed the mark by a few bucks. $9,281.25 is what this one sold for this evening. And then finally, we're going to end it off on a coin that is actually very common. This is a common variety, and this one is actually a tribute to Mr. Adam Chambers, who is an amazing, amazing collector of the Franklin half-dollar series and avid cherry picker of the Bugs Bunny die clashes that are being found and that are just rife all throughout the Franklin half-dollar series. This is the 55, the most common and most plentiful of dates for the Bugs Bunny. However, are they mid-state 67 with full bell lines? This is, of course, the FS 401 in the Cherry Picker's Guide. And this is how we're going to end it off this week's Monday Market Report. I would say it's very well deserved at a price tag sold for $9,478.12. There you go, Adam. Enjoy that one. And watch, he's going to reach out to me. Yeah, that was my coin that I consigned to them. Now, that would be a hair raiser for sure. But that's it, guys. Would love to hear your thoughts. Did you have a particular favorite on this week's Monday Market Report list? Would love to hear it. You guys are amazing. Thank you for all the views and support. In case you haven't figured it out, I got, my first brand new YouTube shorts. Okay, I'm beginning to do more of those. I think I'm going to try and do one per day in addition to crossing them over on TikTok for all of you Generation Y and Z folks out there that enjoy that sort of thing. I'll be cross-posting on both platforms. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. The MMR is incredibly stacked, and they have been since the beginning of the year. I think we're going to continue to see that. And then again, Memorial Day weekend is going to be that cutoff point for something. Maybe something's going to give. Maybe the market will kind of flatline throughout the summer. We're going to see. Things are easing up in the world today in terms of the whole pandemic doodad deal. So this is really going to be a pretty good test for the market to see if there is going to be a dip, amongst buying and investing and all sorts of great stuff. So that's it, guys. I'm Sean from The Place. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell. You know what it does. Coinaholics, we are discovering together. And I thank you guys again. Have a great week. Don't work so hard. And I'll see you on the next coin video. So long.